The transport ship's doors opened with a loud hiss. Cold air rushed out, carrying the smell of metal and fear. Cadet Hein-Woo Kim stepped onto the landing platform of Nexus Prime, the most famous military training moon in the galaxy. He looked small compared to the other new cadets walking around him. Most aliens stood twice his height. Some had 4 arms, others had skin made of rock or scales that shined like metal. A few floated in the air without touching the ground. Hein-Woo carried one simple bag. Inside were his clothes, some food from Earth, and a picture of his family. He wore the standard gray uniform that all new cadets got. The uniform felt loose on his thin human body. "Move along, Deathworlder," shouted a voice behind him. "Don't block the exit." Hein-Woo turned around. A tall alien with blue skin and 3 eyes was glaring at him. The alien's mouth had too many teeth. "Sorry," Hein-Woo said. He stepped to the side and let the blue alien pass. The alien made a sound like spitting and walked away. Other cadets stared at Hein-Woo as they passed. Some pointed at him and whispered to each other. A few took pictures with their communication devices. Hein-Woo had never seen so many different types of aliens before on Earth. Humans only knew about 5 alien species that visited their planet. Here on Nexus Prime, he counted at least 20 different types just in the landing area. He pulled out a small device that showed him a map of the military academy. The red dot showed where he needed to go first. The main building was huge, made of black metal that reached toward the sky like a mountain dot as he walked. Hein-Woo heard aliens talking about him. "Is that really a human? They look so weak. I heard their planet tries to kill them every day. Why would the Academy accept a Deathworlder? Maybe it's some kind of joke." Hein-Woo tried not to listen. He had heard these kinds of comments before. Most aliens thought humans were either very tough or very stupid. There was no middle ground. The main building's entrance was massive. The doors were tall enough for giants to walk through. Inside, the ceiling was so high that Hein-Woo couldn't see the top. Hundreds of cadets moved around like ants. A floating screen showed directions to different areas. Hein-Woo found his name on the list. He was assigned to Barracks Unit 7, Bed 23. He followed the signs through long hallways that seemed to go on forever. The barracks was a large room filled with beds. Each bed had a small locker next to it. Most aliens needed beds that were much bigger than human beds. Hein-Woo's bed looked tiny compared to the others. "You must be the human," said a voice. Next to him, Hein-Woo turned to see another human sitting on the bed next to his. The human was about the same age as Hein-Woo with black hair and friendly eyes. "I'm Jamin Park," the human said. "I got here yesterday. I've been waiting to meet another human." "Hein-Woo Kim," he replied, feeling happy to finally meet someone. "From Earth. How many humans are here?" "Just 4 of us," Jamin said. "There's also Sun Ya Li and Ta Hung Cho. They're in the other human barracks unit." Hein-Woo put his bag in his locker. "Why did they accept humans? I thought this academy only took the best aliens." Jamin shrugged. "Nobody told me. The letter just said I was selected for advanced military training. My family was very surprised." Before Hein-Woo could ask more questions, a loud sound filled the barracks. All the cadets stopped talking and stood next to their beds. The barracks doors opened. 2 enormous aliens walked in. The first alien was the biggest creature Hein-Woo had ever seen. It had 6 arms, each one as thick as a tree. Its skin looked like purple crystal. Sharp spikes grew from its shoulders and back. The second alien was completely different. It was long and thin like a giant snake, but it stood upright. Its skin was silver and seemed to move like water. 2 large yellow eyes stared at everyone without blinking. "I am Drill Sergeant Vextel," said the crystal alien. Its voice was so deep that Hein-Woo felt it in his chest. "This is Drill Sergeant Corin." The snake alien nodded but didn't speak. "You are now cadets at the most difficult military academy in the known galaxy," Vextel continued. "Half of you will quit before the first week ends. Most of the rest will fail before graduation." Vextel's 6 arms pointed at different cadets as he spoke. "We train warriors here, not pets, not tourists. Warriors who can survive in the worst places in space." His eyes stopped on Hein-Woo. The crystal alien walked over to him. Vextel was so tall that Hein-Woo had to bend his neck all the way back to see the alien's face. "And what do we have here?" Vextel asked. His voice was quiet but scary. "A Deathworlder from the famous planet Earth." Other cadets turned to stare. Hein-Woo could feel dozens of alien eyes watching him. "Tell me," human Vextel said. "Do you know why your planet is called a Class 12 Death?" "Because it's dangerous," Hein-Woo answered honestly. Some aliens in the barracks laughed. Vextel's crystal face showed something that might have been a smile. "Dangerous," he repeated. "Yes, I suppose that's one way to put it. Your planet is so hostile that most intelligent species would die within hours of landing there. The air you breathe is poison to half the galaxy. Your weather can kill. Your animals hunt in packs. Even your plants are deadly." Vextel leaned down closer to Hein-Woo. "So tell me, little Deathworlder, are you here because you're incredibly tough or incredibly stupid?" Hein-Woo thought about the question. Back on Earth, he was just a normal student. He played soccer with his friends. He helped his parents with their small farm. He studied hard in school. He didn't feel tough or stupid. "I don't know," he said. I just got a letter saying I was selected. More aliens laughed. Vextel stood up straight again. Honest answer, the drill sergeant said. I like that, but honesty won't help you survive here. Vextel walked to the center of the barracks. Tomorrow morning, all cadets will begin the Hell Circuit. This is our most challenging training course. It tests everything's strength, speed, intelligence, and will to survive. Quarin, the snake alien, finally spoke. His voice sounded like wind through caves. The current record for completing the Hell Circuit is 16 hours, set by a Keltherian war hero 3 years ago. Most cadets take 30 to 50 hours, Vextel added. Some never finish at all. We have to rescue them. The crystal alien's eyes found Hyenwu again. But I have a special idea for our deaf friend here. The barracks became very quiet. Even the air recycling system seemed to stop making noise. Tomorrow, Cadet Kim will attempt the Hell Circuit alone, Vextel announced while everyone else watches. This will be a good lesson for all of you about knowing your limits. Hyenwu felt his heart beat faster. Around him, alien cadets whispered to each other. Some looked excited. Others looked sorry for him. Jamin moved closer to Hyenwu's bed. Is that normal? He whispered. Nothing about this place is normal, Hyenwu whispered back. Vextel continued talking. The Hell Circuit has 5 parts. Each part is designed to push you beyond what you think is possible. Most of you will face this challenge in teams, with help from instructors, but Cadet Kim will show us what a Deathworlder can do alone. The drill sergeant's crystal skin seemed to glow brighter. I predict he will quit within the first hour, maybe sooner. Then you will all understand that this academy is not a place for the weak, no matter what kind of planet they come from. Corin nodded in agreement. Get some rest, cadets. Tomorrow will be a long day, especially for our human friend. The 2 drill sergeants left the barracks. As soon as the doors closed, the room exploded with noise. Aliens clustered together, talking excitedly about what would happen tomorrow. Hyenwu sat on his bed. His hands were shaking slightly. He had no idea what the Hell Circuit was, but it sounded terrible. Don't worry, Jamin said quietly. Maybe it won't be as bad as they're making it sound. Hyenwu nodded, but he didn't feel confident. He thought about his family back on Earth. His mother had cried when he left. His father had told him to be careful and come home safe. Now he was millions of miles from home, about to face a challenge that was designed to break alien warriors, and he had to do it alone, while everyone watched. He lay down on his bed and stared at the ceiling. Tomorrow would either prove that humans belonged at this academy, or it would prove that Drill Sergeant Vextar was right. Either way, Hyenwu knew his life was about to change forever. The next morning came too quickly. Hyenwu woke up before the alarm sounded. His stomach felt tight with worry. Around him, other cadets were getting ready for the day. J-Min was already awake, sitting on his bed with a concerned look on his face. How are you feeling? He asked quietly. Scared, Hyenwu admitted. There was no point in lying. The breakfast hall was enormous. Hundreds of alien cadets sat at long tables, eating foods that Hyenwu had never seen before. Some meals were still moving. Others glowed with strange colors. Hyenwu found the human food section. It was much smaller than the alien sections. He took some bread, fruit, and protein bars. The food tasted like home, which made him feel a little better. Look, it's the Deathworlder, said a loud voice behind him. Hyenwu turned to see a group of alien cadets staring at him. The leader was a red-skinned alien with 4 arms and spikes on his head. I heard you have to do the Hell Circuit alone today, the alien said with a mean smile. How long do you think you'll last? 10 minutes. 5. I don't know, said honestly. The aliens laughed. At least he's honest about being weak, another alien said. More cadets gathered around to listen. Soon there was a crowd of aliens looking at Hyenwu like he was some kind of strange animal. I bet he quits in the first challenge, said a blue alien with tentacles for arms. No way, said another. He won't even start. He'll take one look at the gravity maze and run away crying. Maybe we should make bets, suggested the red alien. I say he lasts 15 minutes before he begs to quit. Soon aliens were placing bets all around the breakfast hall. Most bet that Hyenwu would quit within the first hour. A few thought he might last 2 hours. Nobody bet that he would finish the course. Hyenwu tried to ignore them and eat his breakfast, but it was hard to swallow food when everyone around him was talking about how he would fail. Don't listen to them, said a soft voice next to him. They looked up to see a human girl with short black hair. She looked worried but tried to smile. I'm Sanya Li, she said. This is Taehung Cho. She pointed to another human who had just sat down with them. Taehung looked embarrassed. Actually, he said quietly, I bet against you too. Sorry, but the odds were really good, and I need the money. Senya hit him on the arm. That's terrible. What? I'm being realistic, Taehung said. Look at him. He's not big or strong, and he has to do the Hell Circuit alone. Even alien teams struggle with it. Hyenwu couldn't argue with that logic. He wasn't big or strong compared to the aliens around him. He was just a normal human from a small farming town on Earth. After breakfast, all the cadets were led to the Hell Circuit facility. It was a massive building that looked like a fortress. The walls were thick metal covered with warning signs in dozens of alien languages. Inside, the facility was even more impressive. The ceiling was so high it disappeared into darkness. 5 enormous chambers stretched out before them, each one different and scary in its own way. Drill Sergeant Vextel stood in the center of the main platform. His crystal skin reflected the bright lights, making him look even more intimidating than usual. Drill Sergeant Quarren was coiled beside him, yellow eyes watching everything. Cadets, Vextel's voice boomed across the facility. Welcome to the Hell Circuit. This course has broken the strongest warriors in the galaxy. Today, you will watch as one cadet attempts to conquer it alone. All eyes turned to Hien Wu. He felt his face get hot with embarrassment. Let me explain what our brave Deathworlder will face, Vextel continued. He pointed to the first chamber with one of his 6 arms. First, the gravity maze. The gravity in that chamber is set to 8 times normal. Most species can barely walk under such pressure. The maze itself changes every few minutes, so speed and intelligence are required. Hien Wu looked at the chamber. Through the thick glass, he could see metal walls that moved and shifted like living things. Even watching it made him feel dizzy. Second, the toxic swamp. Vextel pointed to the next chamber. The water contains acids that can burn through most armor. The plants are carnivorous and hungry. The air itself is poisonous to many species. The swamp chamber was filled with green fog. Hien Wu could barely see the twisted trees and strange plants through the thick mist. Third, the fire trials. Temperatures reach 200 degrees. The air is so hot it can cook flesh. Only species with the most advanced temperature control can survive. The fire chamber glowed orange and red. Heat waves made everything look wavy and unreal. Fourth, the void walk. 0 gravity. No air. Extreme cold. You must cross using only handholds while avoiding moving obstacles. One mistake means floating into space forever. The void chamber was completely black except for tiny lights that marked the path across. It looked like trying to cross an empty night sky. Finally, the final fortress. A military simulation where you must capture a defended position using strategy and stealth. The defenders are programmed with the best tactical knowledge in the galaxy. The last chamber looked like a small city with buildings, walls, and towers. Red lights moved around inside, marking the positions of the defenders. The current record is 16 hours, Quarren added, his voice echoing strangely. Set by Commander Kexter of the Caltherian Imperial Guard, he was considered the finest warrior of his generation. Vextel's crystal face showed what might have been amusement. Most cadets require 30 to 50 hours to complete the circuit. Some never finish and must be rescued before they die. The alien cadets whispered excitedly to each other. Many were taking pictures and recording videos. This was clearly entertainment for them. Medical officer Zindara is standing by, Vextel announced. A spider-like alien with 8 legs and medical equipment strapped to her back waved one leg. She had prepared a full medical station with emergency supplies. Clearly she expected to be very busy today. Now Vextel said, let us see what a Deathworlder can accomplish. He handed Hien Wu a standard equipment pack. Inside was basic armor, a water bottle, some energy bars, and a communication device. The communication device will let you call for help when you decide to quit, Vextel explained loudly enough for everyone to hear. There is no shame in knowing your limits. Hien Wu put on the armor. It was designed for average alien sizes, so it was too big for him. The helmet kept sliding down over his eyes. Any final words before you begin? Vextel asked. Hien Wu looked at all the alien faces staring at him. Some looked excited to see him fail. Others looked sorry for him. A few looked curious about what would happen. He thought about his family back on Earth. His mother always told him to do his best and never give up. His father taught him that hard work was more important than natural talent. I'll try my best, Hien Wu said simply. Some aliens laughed at this answer. Others shook their heads sadly. Very well, Vextel said. Begin when you are ready. Hien Wu walked to the entrance of the first chamber. The gravity maze looked even bigger and scarier up close. Through the thick door, he could hear the mechanical sounds of the walls moving and changing. He took a deep breath and pressed the button to open the door. Timer starts now, Vextel announced. The door opened, and Hien Wu stepped into the gravity maze. Immediately, he felt the increased gravity trying to push him to his knees. Behind him, hundreds of alien cadets watched and waited for him to fail. But something strange happened. Instead of being crushed by the 8 times gravity, Hien Wu felt normal actually. He felt lighter than usual. This was going to be interesting. Hien Wu stood in the gravity maze and felt confused. The aliens had said the gravity was 8 times normal. But to him, it felt like the gravity was actually lighter than what he was used to on Earth. The gravity was 9.8 meters per second squared. Here in the maze, it was supposed to be 8 times normal alien gravity. But normal alien gravity was only about 6 meters per second squared. So 8 times alien normal was actually less than Earth normal. Hien Wu didn't know these numbers. He just knew that moving felt easier, not harder. The maze walls shifted around him with loud mechanical sounds, but the movements seemed slow to Hien Wu. On Earth he had played soccer and dodged falling trees during storms. This maze moved much slower than a soccer ball or a falling branch. He started running through the maze. His Earth-trained reflexes helped him predict where the walls would move next. His bones, made strong by Earth's heavy gravity, easily handled the stress. Outside the maze, the alien cadets watched in growing confusion. "Why isn't he being crushed?" asked the red alien with spikes. "Maybe the gravity system is broken," suggested. Another drill sergeant Vextel checked his instruments. Gravity is set to 8 times standard. All systems are working normally. Through the viewing windows, they could see Hyanwu moving quickly through the maze. He wasn't struggling. He wasn't even breathing hard. He looked like he was taking a casual walk. 12 minutes, announced Kurin, reading the timer. The alien cadets fell silent. Most of them took over an hour to complete the gravity maze. Even working in teams. Hyan-Wu reached the end of the maze and pressed the exit button. The door opened, and he stepped into the viewing area between chambers. "How do you feel?" Medical Officer Zindara asked, rushing over with her medical equipment. "Fine," Hyan-Wu said honestly. "Is the next part harder?" Zindara's 8 eyes blinked in surprise. She had expected to treat someone who was exhausted and possibly injured. Instead, Hyan-Wu looked like he had just finished a light exercise. "The toxic swamp is next," Vextel said. His crystal skin was starting to show. Stress cracks. This was not going as planned. Hyan-Wu entered the second chamber. The green fog was thick and smelled terrible. The acidic water came up to his knees. Strange plants with teeth tried to grab him as he walked past. But again, this seemed easy, compared to what Hyan-Wu was used to. On Earth, he had hiked through swamps filled with poisonous snakes and crocodiles. He had been stung by insects that were more dangerous than these alien plants. The deadly acid was weaker than some cleaning chemicals his family used on the farm. His immune system, trained by countless Earth bacteria and viruses, treated the alien toxins like minor irritants. The carnivorous plants moved too slowly to catch him. On Earth, Hyan-Wu had dodged wasps and hornets that moved much faster. He crossed the swamp in 8 minutes. "This has to be some kind of mistake," muttered the blue alien with tentacles. "Maybe he's not really human," whispered another cadet. "Maybe humans are tougher than we thought," said a third. Drill Sergeant Vextel was starting to panic. His crystal skin was glowing brighter as stress hormones flooded his system. This human was making his famous hell circuit look like a children's playground. The third chamber was the fire trials. Hyan-Wu stepped into air that was superheated to 200 degrees Celsius. The alien cadets expected to see him collapse immediately. Instead, Hyan-Wu started walking calmly through the burning chamber. Humans were one of the few species that cooled themselves by sweating. Most aliens regulated temperature through behavioral changes or special organs, but humans had evolved in the hot savannas of Africa and near volcanic vents around the world. 200 degrees was hot, but not deadly to a species that had survived ice ages and droughts. Hyan-Wu's body automatically started producing sweat to cool him down. His cardiovascular system, designed to handle Earth's extreme temperature changes, kept his blood flowing normally. He made it through the fire chamber in 15 minutes. When he came out, his uniform was soaked with sweat, but he was alive and alert. "Impossible," whispered Zindara. "No carbon-based life form should survive those temperatures." "Humans are carbon-based," Kurin said quietly. His yellow eyes were wide with shock. Then how Zindara started to ask. "I don't know," Kurin admitted. The fourth chamber was the Void Walk. This was usually where most cadets failed. Zero gravity, no air, and extreme cold had defeated even the strongest alien warriors. Hyan-Wu put on the provided spacesuit and entered the airlock. The chamber was completely dark except for small lights marking handholds across a vast empty space. But humans were one of the few species that didn't panic in zero gravity. Earth's chaotic weather patterns and natural disasters had trained human spatial awareness and balance to very high levels. Also, humans were natural swimmers. Moving through zero gravity felt similar to swimming underwater, something Howard done since he was a child. He pushed off from the first handhold and flew smoothly to the next one. His movements were controlled and precise, while other species tumbled helplessly in zero gravity. Hyan-Wu moved like he was born for it. The moving obstacles were designed to knock cadets off course, but they moved in predictable patterns. On Earth, Hyan-Wu had dodged flying debris during storms. These obstacles were much easier to avoid. He crossed the void chamber in 18 minutes. Outside, the alien cadets were completely silent. They stared through the viewing windows like they were watching something impossible. Drill Sergeant Vextel was having what his species called a warrior crisis. His entire understanding of military training was being destroyed by one small human who acted like these deadly challenges were normal. "How much time has passed?" Vextel asked in a shaky voice. 53 minutes total, Kurin answered. His serpentine body was coiled so tightly with stress that he looked like a spring about to break. The current record was 16 hours. This human was going to finish in under an hour. "Maybe we should stop the test," suggested Zindara. "This doesn't seem normal." "No," Vextel said, his pride overriding his panic. He still has the final fortress. That will stop him. No one completes the military simulation quickly. It requires advanced tactical thinking. But even as he said it, Vextel wasn't sure he believed it anymore. Who entered the final chamber? It looked like a small city with buildings, walls, and defensive positions. Red lights moved around, showing where the automated defenders were positioned. The simulation was designed to test advanced military tactics. It included everything the galaxy's best military minds had learned about warfare, strategy, and combat. But the galaxy's best military minds had never fought a war like humans had. While alien species fought territorial disputes and resource conflicts, humans had spent thousands of years perfecting the art of total war. They had fought wars of survival, wars of ideology, and wars of conquest. Human military strategy had been forged in the fires of world wars, civil wars, and countless smaller conflicts. Every human child learned about famous battles and military leaders in school. Hyan Wu looked at the defensive positions and immediately saw the weaknesses. The defenders were positioned to stop civilized alien tactics, but humans had never been civilized when it came to war. He began moving through the fortress like a predator stalking prey. He used shadows, misdirection, and psychological warfare that the alien programmers had never considered. The automated defenders were confused by his unpredictable movements. They had been programmed to counter logical honor-based alien tactics. They couldn't handle a human who thought like a hunter. Hyan Wu reached the final objective in 7 minutes. Total time, exactly 1 hour. The Hell Circuit facility was completely silent. Hundreds of alien cadets stared in shock. Several medical officers had fainted. Even the automated systems seemed confused. Drill Sergeant Vextel made a sound like breaking glass. His crystal skin was spiderwebbed with stress fractures. Drill Sergeant Quarren uncoiled and slithered toward the exit. "I need to lie down," he said weakly. Hyan Wu walked back to the main viewing area. He looked around at all the shocked alien faces. "Was that okay?" he asked innocently. "Should I have gone slower?" The silence in the Hell Circuit facility was so complete that Hyan Wu could hear his own heartbeat. Hundreds of alien cadets stared at him like he had just performed magic. Did he just ask if he should have gone slower?" whispered the red alien with spikes. Drill Sergeant Vextel stood frozen like a broken statue. His crystal skin was covered with stress cracks that spread wider every second. The six-armed giant who had terrified cadets for years looked like he might collapse. "Check the equipment," Vextel said in a voice that sounded like grinding stone. "Check everything, there must be a malfunction." 3 technicians rushed to examine the Hell Circuit systems. They ran diagnostic tests on every piece of equipment in all 5 chambers. The gravity generators, the acid mixture, the temperature controls, the vacuum systems, and the military simulation computers. "All systems operating normally," reported the head technician after 10 minutes of frantic checking. "No malfunctions detected." "Run the tests again," Vextel ordered. "Sir, we've run them 3 times. Everything is working perfectly." Drill Sergeant Quarren had returned, though he looked like he was having trouble believing what he had witnessed. His yellow eyes kept staring at Hyan Wu like he was some kind of impossible creature. "The record," Quarren said weakly. "Show me the official record." A floating screen appeared in the air, displaying the Hell Circuit completion times. At the top was Commander Kexter of the Keltharian Imperial Guard, 16 hours, 23 minutes, 7 seconds. Below that were dozens of other completion times. The fastest anyone had ever finished was 14 hours. Most took between 30 and 50 hours. Many attempts were marked as DNF did not finish. The technician added Hyan Wu's time to the record board. "Cadet Hyan Wu Kim, Human, Earth." The technician announced, "Completion time, 1 hour, 0 minutes, 0 seconds." The number appeared at the top of the list. It looked wrong somehow, like it didn't belong with the other times. "That's impossible," said the blue alien with tentacles. "He's 15 times faster than the previous record holder. 16 times faster," corrected another cadet who was good at math. Some of the alien cadets started backing away from Hyan Wu, like he might be dangerous. Others pushed forward to get a closer look at this impossible human. "Medical officer." Zindara approached Hyan Wu with her scanner. "May I check your vital signs?" she asked nervously. "Okay," Hyan Wu said. The medical scanner beeped and displayed information on its screen. Zindara's eyes widened as she read the results. "His heart rate is only slightly elevated," she announced. "Blood pressure normal, body temperature normal, stress hormones at baseline levels." She looked at Hyan Wu in amazement. "You're not even tired, are you?" "Not really," Hyan Wu admitted. "It was like ... exercise, but not hard exercise." "Not hard exercise," Zindara repeated slowly. She looked at her scanner again to make sure she was reading it correctly. Drill Sergeant Vextel finally found his voice. "Explain," he demanded. "How did you do that?" Hyan Wu thought about the question. "I don't know. The gravity felt light. The swamp wasn't that dangerous. The heat was hot but not too hot. The zero gravity was fun. And the military part. I guess I just thought about what my grandfather taught me about tactics." "What did your grandfather teach you?" Quarren asked. "He was in the Earth military. He said that in war, You have to think like your enemy is trying to kill you, because they are. The alien cadets looked confused. Their species fought wars, but they followed rules and codes of honor. The idea of total war was foreign to them. But the tactical simulation included the most advanced military strategies in the galaxy, Vextel protested. Maybe Hyan Wu said politely, but they seem to expect me to fight fair, Kurin repeated. Yeah, like, follow rules and be honorable. But my grandfather said that honor is for after the war. During the war, you do whatever it takes to win and survive. A new voice spoke from the crowd of cadets. What kind of planet produces warriors like this? All eyes turned to see who had asked the question. It was an alien that looked like a walking tree with silver bark and glowing blue leaves. Earth, said another cadet quietly. A Class 12 Deathworld. What does Class 12 mean exactly? Asked the tree alien. A small alien with gray skin and large eyes stepped forward. I studied the classification system, he said. Class 12 means the planet is so hostile that most intelligent species would die within hours of landing there. What makes it so dangerous? Someone else asked. The gray alien looked nervous but continued. The atmosphere contains oxygen, which is poisonous to most species. The gravity is extremely high. The weather includes violent storms, temperature extremes, and natural disasters. The native life forms are aggressive predators. Don't forget the diseases, added another cadet who had been researching Earth on his communication device. Thousands of different bacteria, viruses, and parasites that can kill most species instantly. And the plants, said a third. Many Earth plants produce toxins as defense mechanisms. As the aliens talked, they began to understand what they were really looking at. Hyan Wu wasn't just a normal cadet from a slightly dangerous planet. He was a survivor from a world that actively tried to kill everything that lived on it. How many humans are there? Asked the red alien with spikes. About 8 billion. Hyan Wu answered. The number hit the aliens like a physical blow. 8 billion creatures that could do what Hyan Wu had just done. And they all live on the same planet? Asks the tree alien. Yes, though we don't all get along perfectly. What do you mean? Kurin asked, though he looked like he was afraid. Of the answer, we have wars sometimes. Countries fight against other countries. We have weapons that can destroy entire cities. The alien cadets looked at each other with growing horror. A species that could survive on a Class 12 Deathworld was dangerous enough, but a species that fought wars against itself while living on such a planet was terrifying. How many of you are coming to join the galactic military? Asked the blue alien with tentacles. I don't know, Hyan Wu said. My government said they had thousands of volunteers, maybe tens of thousands. Drill Sergeant Vextel made that glass-breaking sound again. This time, actual pieces of his crystal skin fell to the floor. I need to contact headquarters, he said weakly. This changes everything. What changes? Hyan Wu asked innocently. Vextel looked at him with something that might have been fear. You just proved that everything we thought we knew about military training is wrong. If one human can break our most difficult course by 15 hours, what happens when we have thousands of humans? Maybe we could help make the courses better, Hyan Wu suggested helpfully. Better, Vextel repeated. Yeah, more challenging, so they're actually difficult. Several alien cadets fainted when they heard this. The idea that the Hell Circuit wasn't difficult enough for humans was too much for their minds to handle. Medical officers in Dara was treating the unconscious cadets when she looked up at Hyan Wu. What would you consider a challenging course? Hyan Wu thought about it. Maybe something like survival training on Earth. We could start with a nice, easy environment, like the Amazon rainforest or the Sahara Desert. Then work up to harder places like Antarctica or an active volcano. More aliens fainted. Those are the easy places, Indara asked weakly. Well, relatively easy. Nobody's shooting at you there. Shooting at you. Coronet's voice was barely a whisper. Oh, I thought you knew. Most of our military training involves people trying to kill you with weapons. Makes you learn faster. Drill Sergeant Vextel sat down heavily on the floor. Pieces of his crystal skin continued to fall around him like broken glass. I think, he said slowly, we need to completely rethink how this academy operates. Hyan looked around at all the shocked alien faces. He was starting to realize that maybe humans were different from other species in ways he had never considered. Should I not have mentioned the war thing? He asked Jamin, who had been watching from the crowd. J-Min shrugged. I think it's too late now. 3 days had passed since Hyan Wu broke the Hell Circuit record. The Galactic Military Academy was in chaos. News of the 1-hour completion time had spread throughout the facility faster than a computer virus. Every alien cadet, instructor, and administrator knew about the human who had made their most difficult course look like a warm-up exercise. Hyan Wu sat in his barracks with the other 3 humans, eating breakfast and trying to understand why everyone kept staring at them. I still can't believe you did it, Taehang said for the 100th time. 1 hour. The alien who held the record trained his whole life for that course. It really wasn't that hard, Hyan Wu said. I keep telling everyone that. That's what makes it worse. Sunya said quietly. They're starting to realize that what's impossible for them is normal for us. She was right. The alien cadets had spent the last 3 days researching Earth and humanity. What they found had shaken their understanding of the galaxy. The Academy's library computers had been overwhelmed with requests for information about Class 12 Death. Most aliens had never bothered to learn what those classifications really meant. Now they were getting an education that terrified them. Earth wasn't just dangerous, it was apocalyptically hostile to life. The gravity that crushed most alien bones was considered light by human standards. The oxygen that poisoned alien bloodstreams was necessary for human survival. The weather patterns that would destroy alien civilizations were just Tuesday for humans, but the military information was what really scared them. Humans had been fighting wars continuously for their entire recorded history. They had developed tactics, strategies, and weapons that were designed to kill other humans, creatures just as tough and smart as themselves. While alien species fought territorial disputes with formal rules and codes of honor, humans had perfected the art of total warfare. They had created weapons that could destroy planets. They had strategies that assumed their enemies were trying to completely exterminate them. The Academy's tactical computers had analyzed human military history and concluded that most alien species would be extinct if they fought a war the way humans did. Cadet Kim, report to the Commandant's office immediately, announced a voice over the facility's communication system. Hyen-Woo sighed and stood up. Over the past 3 days he had been called to dozens of meetings with Academy officials. They all asked the same questions and got the same answers that seemed to frighten them more each time. The Commandant's office was at the top of the Academy's main tower. Commandant Rexstar was a massive alien that looked like a cross between a dragon and a mountain. His species were known as the greatest military minds in the galaxy, but when Hyen-Woo entered the office, Rexstar looked like he hadn't slept in days. His usually perfect scales were dull, and his golden eyes were bloodshot. Sit down, Cadet Kim, Rexstar said. Tied-light at Hyen-Woo sat in the chair across from the Commandant's desk. The chair was designed for creatures much larger than humans, so his feet didn't touch the floor. I've been in contact with the Galactic Military Council, Rexstar began. We've spent the last 3 days trying to understand what your performance means for the future of military training. Am I in trouble? Hyen-Woo asked. Trouble? Rexstar laughed, but it didn't sound happy. No, you're not in trouble, but you have created the biggest crisis in military education history. The Commandant activated a holographic display that showed statistics and charts. Do you know what these numbers represent? Hyen-Woo looked at the display but couldn't understand. Most of it. No, sir. These are the performance comparisons between human capabilities and standard galactic military requirements, Rexstar explained. According to our analysis, the average human exceeds our elite warrior standards in every category. That doesn't sound right, Hyen-Woo said. I'm not elite, I'm just normal. That's exactly the problem, Rexstar said. If you're normal for your species, then we have been training soldiers to fight enemies that don't exist. The holographic display changed to show video footage from the Hell Circuit. Hyen-Woo watched himself move through the course that had defeated thousands of alien warriors. Watch this part, Rexstar said, highlighting the gravity maze section. Our sensors show that you were actually moving faster in 8 times gravity than most cadets move in normal gravity. Earth's gravity is heavier than normal gravity here. Hyen-Woo explained. Yes, we figured that out. Earth's gravity is 50% stronger than what we consider maximum survivable levels. Rexstar showed more video. In the toxic swamp, our instruments detected 17 different compounds that should have killed you instantly. Instead, your body treated them like minor irritants. We have lots of poisonous things on Earth, Hyen-Woo said. You learn to deal with them. The fire trials should have cooked your internal organs. Instead, you sweated. Sweating is normal, not for most species. We regulate temperature through behavioral changes and special organs. Your species developed a biological cooling system that works better than our mechanical ones. Rexstar looked exhausted. The voidwalk tests showed that humans have natural 3-dimensional spatial awareness that exceeds our best pilots and the military simulation. The Commandant paused and rubbed his temples with clawed fingers. The military simulation was programmed with tactical knowledge from 47 different species. It represents the combined military wisdom of the galaxy. You defeated it using strategies that our computers classified as impossible and illogical. They weren't impossible, Hyen-Woo said. They just weren't fair. Exactly. Fairness is a concept that most galactic species include in warfare. Honor, rules, codes of conduct. But humans don't. We do have rules, Hyen-Woo protested. We have laws. About war. Yes, but you also have a saying, all's fair in love and war. Most species have dozens of sayings about fighting with honor. Humans have sayings about winning at any cost. Rexstar stood up and walked to the window that looked out over the Academy grounds. Below, alien cadets were training in groups, following precise formations and procedures. We're going to have to completely rebuild our military training programs, he said. Everything we thought we knew about warfare has been proven inadequate by one human.